Yeah, hi.
Wow, how are you?
I- I'm so great. Oh my God,
It's
it's a
been
full
ages.
circle.
It's
I know.
been ages since Denmark and back. Oh my God, yes.
I
Well, I'm not gonna take too
know.
much of your time, man. Let me just jump into and then we'll catch up, right?
Great.
So
Absolutely.
thank you so much for this. I am so thankful that you said yes to this interview because I believe that you're one of the women that I've met and I'm like, she's got it and she's heading somewhere. And we've met, you are one of the people I've met one-on-one actually. Like I've been doing so many interviews today and a lot I haven't met in person, but you we've
Yeah.
met in person. We had one-on-one conversation. You have your vision and you've been on it. You've been at it. So here we are. Please, can you please just lead us to your journey? Tell us your story. First of all, let's start from the beginning. How did it even start? The journey from Kenya to Denmark. How did it all
Yeah. Oh, girl, I don't know. It's been many, many years. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course.
It's really my great pleasure to be here and to be on Women's World Show. I am a big fan. I'm a fan. I'm a really and starstruck, and it's great to always see you put your visions to be. So really, kudos to you, and
Thank you.
I love it. I love it, and
Thank
I
you.
love to see it.
Thank you.
Well, my journey to Denmark, it's a it's a long story, but the short version of it is I mean, I never thought of myself to move abroad. Like
Oh,
I
really?
never saw myself. I wanted to travel, but stay in Africa. So that was it. For me, I was a Pan-African. I wanted to stay in Africa, fight for human rights, women rights, and I was that person on the street.
Yes.
And then around 2014, I graduated. I took my bar exams. I'm a lawyer in Kenya. And then I decided, you know what, let me start looking out for other opportunities, broaden your knowledge.
Yeah.
And I started applying for my master's.
Wow.
And the first, I got actually admitted, or rather, I got the response from one of the universities in London. And I was like, okay, this is a good one. But at the same time, I was talking to my husband. And he was like, you
Mm.
know what? Forget London and the colonizer. This is a place. You should come to Denmark. And I was like, okay, let's see. Chatting here and there. And he convinced me. Moved to Denmark with zero research.
Wow. Mm.
Came here and I was just like, you know what, navigating life and just going with the flow as well. Motherhood. I came here, got my son, 6 months of moving here. Um, 2 years later, I had my daughter, and then it's been a
No
journey. It's been
problem.
8 years now, but I'm really really grateful for this journey as well. It's been great. Now I'm great. Yeah,
Amazing.
yeah,
I'm glad to hear that you said now I'm great.
yeah.
And I know it's been a process. Again, we've met a few couple of times in person when I was in Denmark. And I know a few of your story, but it's so much delight. Like I know if I'm doing this, Nancy gotta be there. Like she's the woman for it because I know part of your journey. So it's like, wow. Okay, you
Yeah.
made this big decision. You moved to Europe, you moved to Denmark. And then, yes, like you said, trying to find your balance, trying to, navigate. That's the
Hmm.
word, navigate.
Yeah.
So do you think
Hmm.
you say in Denmark you are well integrated, I believe, because you speak the Tutela dance. Tutela dance.
Yeah.
Who's
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
eh?
Good. Good.
So you speak
Okay.
Danish. So that's
Please.
you're well integrated. So how has that balance? Do you feel accepted?
Mm,
Do you feel this is like your home? Do you feel
yeah.
safe for you?
Sometimes I do. Sometimes I feel like Denmark is home. And I feel that often when I travel to other places, and if I go for a longer time, I miss home.
Yeah.
I miss the familiarity. I love how things work in Denmark. I love how quick,
Okay,
the
that's too. Yes,
system
I
is.
would say amen to that.
Girl, I love the welfare,
Yes,
okay? I love the
yes,
welfare
I,
as
I
well.
agree.
That being said, I feel like every day is also you discover new things in this country, right?
Yeah.
Um, and lately it's been about mothering as a Black
Mm,
mother.
yeah.
I didn't, I wasn't ready. I wasn't prepared for what was to come, to be
Mm,
able to stand for my children,
mm,
speak for them, and not defend white fragility. I read in books. I I saw videos, I watched TikToks about people talking about this topic, but when you don't experience it yourself, it's so hard to relate.
mm, mm,
And then you get a child that is excelling. He's excellent in so many ways. He is academically talented. But because of this talent, he's always segregated. He's he reads too fast, so he's disturbing the class. So he gets like a literal physical barrier to
oh,
separate him from the class.
oh,
So until I got to this point where I was very diplomatic, all along, being well composed, educated woman, until I was like, you know what? I can't continue defending white fragility for people that are scared of Black excellence, that are
mm,
not used to seeing Black children or brown children, children of color. And, I started speaking to other mothers in Denmark, in Netherlands, and in Germany.
mm,
And we have a similar story. It's like,
mm,
oh, yeah, their children, they disturb the class, or rather, they lose focus quickly when they finish with their homework, whatever. And I was like, how, like, how familiar is that? And
mm,
and then another journey unlocked, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna start this conversation with different mothers, just want to understand their experiences. So when I say up until now, it's felt quite integrating in the society, right? When we fit at the box, and then you become you start achieving great things.
mm.
Your child becomes, an
Yeah.
achiever, and they start threatening the society, and they start picking up. So there is that part of it. But you know what? No one is coming to stop us. We
No,
are
we
conquering
are.
the world. And I usually let my children know that you belong.
Mm,
You are in this gymnastics team because you are headhunted by a coach because you're so good at it. Okay.
mm.
You are the youngest. You are the only Black and brown child here, but you belong. Go back. Go back. Don't cry. Go
Oh,
do that. And I mean, I would like to recommend to all the parents to listen to Affirmations for Kids by Snoop
yeah,
Dogg
yeah.
on
By
Spotify.
who, please?
It's
By
Snoop
who?
Dogg. Snoop.
No. Mm,
Yeah.
okay, yes, yes.
But
Mm,
it's literally become our anthem. And I've seen it sometimes when one of the kids is like, oh, you're not so responsible. The other one will, catch up and be like, no, I'm responsible. You're responsible. My feelings matter. I love the way I look. My
mm,
family loves me.
mm.
My hair is beautiful. So it's been really great being part of the society in Denmark up until the
You had
mothering
your,
period where, yeah, like it changes also. It becomes more than you. It's now you're here for the next generation of the people of color in a country
wow.
where there are not many. Yeah,
I never knew that you went through that. Like I was on the surface of only you time before these kids time, sufficed.
yeah,
That's quite, that must be challenging to really think about because, hey, I can imagine how I will react if
yeah,
somebody, treat my child, more like segregate my child in any way. I
exactly.
will lose it, but again, you never really know until you're in that situation because you hear about it.
Yeah,
Then when it
exactly.
happens to you, the reaction is always not what you expect.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to actually say, how would you say that hearing stories of other women, like you said, you reached out to some other Black African women in Europe to
Mm-hmm.
hear their, kind of share this kind of experiences. Would you say
Mm-hmm.
that this helped you to find
Mm-hmm.
a way to navigate this challenge that your
Mm-hmm.
son was facing, or your daughter or your son? Your son,
My
right?
son. Yeah,
Mm,
yeah.
was
Yeah,
facing.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You know what? I know there is so much negativity about, Africans in diaspora, but I love the community of Africans and African women in diaspora.
Mm,
If
mm,
you reach out with good intentions and people with like-minded people, you actually get a lot of incentives and guidance as well for people that have older children that have been through these processes who will be like, Nancy, That's not how it's supposed to be. You should call for a meeting, go to school, speak up, go
Mm.
tell them, you don't be scared to bring race, because you've been in Denmark, you know very well, like, it's
Yeah.
like, oh no, here it's not about color, no, we're not thinking about that. But I mean, one of the teachers said that to me, and I was like, but it should be about color. I
They
want you
should
to
know.
actually,
Mm.
yeah, it's always about color, it's always black and white. And she's like, no, it's not just black and white. And I was like, it is black and white, and I want you to look at it as black and white, because the moment you see that, you start to educate yourself. And when other kids are outside and are asking my child if they could call him the N word,
Oh,
you
really?
will know how to address that. You will know how to speak to these children,
Yes.
So I want you to see it in those lenses. I want you to understand that. And this came from actually speaking with um I mean, there's one of the two parents, one in from a place in Denmark in Slangerup,
Yeah.
and another lady from Netherlands.
Yeah.
It made so much sense. It was so familiar. Like, I hadn't even shared my story. The kids met, and it was like very coincidental at a playground. Met, clicked, they started playing and showing each other tricks. Then
Yeah.
we started as parents and we started speaking. And like, she shared her story, and I was like, oh, wait a minute. I'm going through that.
Wow.
Exactly what you're
This is
saying.
lovely. Lovely. Yes.
Yeah. And so, I mean, speaking to these people, it started to feel like I'm not alone. Oh,
Mm.
my child is not abnormal. My child does not need any psychological assessment for being smart. Because
Mm.
there was that. And I was like, why does he need a psychologist to assess him
When
because
it is
he can
finished on
read so
time.
fast?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why does he have to be autistic if he can do math up to grade 3 when he's in grade
Yeah.
1?
Yeah.
Can he not just be smart?
Yeah, can he
You
not
know?
just be smart? That's a good question.
Exactly.
Well,
Yeah.
really, this is very good to know. Thank you for that information. I will take it to myself as well because I feel like we need to keep speaking
Yeah.
up. And when
Yeah.
I spoke with some other ladies, I was like, I'm not hearing the voice of African women in diaspora in Europe enough.
Hmm.
And you saying that you were able to connect with other people, that makes me happy. That means there are
Hmm.
people. I need to dig deep. Please
Yeah.
connect me. I'm paying it out now. Connect me to any woman that you know, any African woman that you know in diaspora in Europe. That you know that you say, she got this, Clara. You must speak to
Interesting.
her.
Yeah.
Please send me
Yeah.
link. I will be
There are
happy
many.
to take it up
There,
from there.
there
And
are
because I
many of
feel like
us.
this is a way that our voice can continue to be heard, our stories can be heard. Talking about community, would you
Hmm.
say that African women in diaspora, in Europe, the ones that you've met or encounters that you've had, you've been
Hmm.
able to build a very strong unity to foster a relationship here in Europe and at
Hmm.
the same
Hmm.
time back home in
Hmm.
Kenya, where you're from? Would you say
Yeah.
that that has been the situation for you?
Yeah. I mean, right now I can say that. when when I moved here, there was so many stories. I mean, the
Yeah.
first Kenyan woman that I met, she told me, "You should avoid Kenyans in Europe by all means." And I was like, I want Kenyans in Europe. I want to speak my language. And then I wasn't scared because I am just as I am. I'm really open book, honestly. Like, for me, I come as I am, and you either like me or not. And I am so grateful. Like, I haven't had any sort of beef or such
Oh,
things
beautiful.
happening to
Yeah.
me when
Yeah.
I came here. Even now, I
Yeah.
have amazing, really I have really great women on my backbone that hold me. And I
Amazing.
know
Yeah.
we have many relationships and friendships that we have back at home. But because of living so far away and moving in very different backgrounds, directions,
Yeah.
those relationships change. Um, but the person you meet here, you have another shared sort of experience, which is small, from Uganda, from Kenya, from Ghana, from Nigeria. And then now coming here and combining those two, it's a powerhouse. Like, you
Amazing.
can meet someone and you're so stressed and you just have a talk and you're like, oh, I needed that,
I
you
needed
know?
that. I'm not
Yeah,
alone. I mean, that feeling is like, wow, I'm not going
absolutely.
crazy.
Exactly. And that's all you need sometimes, just a laugh,
Yes.
or just some food, some
No, I'm
comfort
I'm
food.
really
Yeah,
happy. I'm happy for you. It seems like
yeah.
you have it, in balance. Talking about culture and balancing and enjoying, being an African at the same time integrated Danish that you are.
Mhm.
how would you say the empowerment? Because, at the end of the day, I am doing this
Mhm.
series because we want to really strengthen the change, a positive
Mhm.
change, impact positive change, like spark up positive change, impact in
Mhm.
contribute to United Nations SDGs,
Mhm.
in terms of unity, peace,
Mhm.
work, but a very better work for African women in diaspora. And I know you're in workforce already. You're working. I've seen that you've done a contribution to, I don't know if it's United Nations or something that you did a job with. So how is your workspace? How have you fostered this, and how are you thinking to continue to move in this direction work-wise and still
Yeah.
balance being an African?
Yeah. You know what? Don't be limited. Don't be limited.
How did
There
you
is
get the job, by the way, first of all? Because this is insane. I remember when you
oh
were doing when you finished your master's or something. I
yeah,
can't remember. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah. Oh, I think the stars aligned.
Wow.
Yeah, I really think the stars aligned. I'm so grateful. I sometimes I can't believe I
Wow.
am so grateful for where I am. I finished and I got a job with an non-government organization. It's called
Mhm.
Action Aid.
Yes, I
Uh,
saw that.
yes, and I left actually. I left Action Aid, but it was incredible. It was beautiful.
So you volunteered
Amazing
for Action
colleagues.
Aid, right?
No, it was a job.
It was a job. Mm.
Yes, I was a programs officer. I was supporting 9 African countries while I was there, on different strategic objectives, gender and yeah, gender balance and just a lot of stuff. And then in July, I moved to the private sector. So now I'm working for a biotech company
Wow.
that is working on clinical trials for cancer in
Wow.
oncology. Um, and I am in the operations management, and I'm just so grateful. It's been a journey. When I came here 8 years ago, I spent the first year just wanting to go back to Kenya and be a lawyer because I was not ready. I was just like, this cannot be me.
The
I
culture
cannot just
shock.
sit. I cannot just sit at home and breastfeed and that's it. Women in Africa, they only have 3 months maternity leave, and when they have those 3 months, they have a side hustle. And I'm just here, depending on some government money that is coming quarterly. No, this is not for me. And then it was like the entire cycles of culture shock.
Yeah.
And then after that, I was tired of sitting in the house when my son went to Burning Hill. I was like, you know what? I really need to do something. And I started picking up different jobs. I did waitressing. That wasn't for me. Mm-mm. I love people, but people much is too much. Uh, and then I did cleaning. After I did private house cleaning, and
Wow.
I that was therapeutic to actually. I know people, demean such jobs, but it was all me. My husband was not for it. He
Let's
did not.
make this clear. You were actually a master degree holder doing a house cleaning job.
Yes,
Put it there.
it's a shame that our skills are completely ignored in
Mhm.
Europe because you're from Africa
And your
or
certificate is
Asia.
not equivalent. It's not good enough.
It's not
Mm.
good enough. You have to come and take another course, and then you go to a class and you're getting straight A's, and you can see your lecturer is actually getting surprised because of that. Because I don't know, exactly the same thing. They're not used to black excellence, right? So, I mean, after my cleaning, I did my master's. I had fun with it, gave birth in the middle of it, did research in Kenya. This is 8 years. It feels like another lifetime. Anyway, did research in Kenya and then came back and just, applying for jobs back to back. You have to network, you have to meet people, you have to let people know. I know we can be a bit delusional sometimes, but you have to let people know that you need a job. You
Mm.
have to walk to them and tell them, this is what I can do. It's not just a job. Leave your certificates, you have them, but show the skills. And this is one thing I would like to actually encourage
Yeah.
so many of us women of color. We and people of color in general, we want quick fixes a lot. People want to get rich quick. And
Mhm.
and that is why you want to go the shorter route. There's no short route though. Whatever course you take, you're gonna take some time. But I know so many people that have come here, they have a university degree, which you could have gone and be patient, get your documents verified, do those extra courses, or if that's what I mean, if that's the path you want to take, of course, I think there is a light at the end of the tunnel. I
Yes.
have a lady, she's from Kenya, she's called Michelle. She blogs, she runs. She lives in
Mm.
Oldbourne.
Oh,
And
really?
we really were like in touch constantly because she did the same. She came here and just went to school and did a master, all the way to the masters in business marketing.
Mm.
And job search, we're like, girl, is this for us? Can we
Oh,
just move
wow.
home? And then
Wow.
we just literally got jobs at the same time. And I was like, but no one sees the background. No one sees the BTS of it all. The
It's 8 years
shame.
of, yeah.
Yeah. And the
Remember when you were
hassle, the
cleaning as well?
waiting.
You okay, you had your degree when you
Exactly.
were cleaning, and then you did
Yeah.
the master in the process of the cleaning job. Mm,
Exactly. Exactly.
the
Taking
journey.
the bus from Osterbo to Crocodile,
Wow.
to go and clean someone's house for what, 100 krona an hour, and it's 5 hours leave, 500, and now I'm just looking 500.
Yeah.
Or, but we should leave the schemes of get rich quick, and
Yeah.
especially when you move to diaspora, you cannot be lazy. Like you cannot be lazy. You have already been granted so much more opportunities and the upper hand
Yeah.
in these countries. I know we have so many challenges, but the moment we focus that, it's energy, it's frequency. Your frequency will go towards that negativity.
Yeah.
But the moment you focus on the goal, do what you have to do in between. Be a waitress, do dishes, serve in the events. I did the chaba jobs in the events. Do all that you need to do because I wanted money for myself. I wanted to be able to go and get myself a gold necklace without having to come to my husband.
Yes.
um I think you have to do the work in between before it start to shine.
Yeah, yes,
Yeah.
well done. Wow, bravo. Take your flowers, really. This is so beautiful. And look at you today. You're doing incredibly well. I mean, it's really a journey, and this is what the story is about, really making sure that you see, hey, there's a process to this, but as well, there's
Mm-hmm.
Black excellence. Talking about
Mm-hmm.
Black excellence, we want to, like I mentioned to you, we want
Mm-hmm.
to work towards impacting, and contributing to United Nations SDG. How do you
Mm-hmm.
think that African women, I mean, you've mentioned a bunch already,
Mm-hmm.
but how do you
Mm-hmm.
think we can continue to
Mm-hmm.
have our voice heard? To
Mm-hmm.
have to see, hey, I'm here, I'm doing
Mm-hmm.
something. I
Mm-hmm.
mentioned to a lot of women, I say, when I search African women in diaspora, I see UK, I see
Mm-hmm.
America, I don't see
Yeah.
us in Europe. Where are we?
Mm-mm.
Where
I
are you
know.
ladies? How can
Yeah.
we have our voice heard? How can we see who is doing what? How can we
Mm-hmm.
be out there and show that this is what we're doing? I know all of us must not want to be like, hello,
Yeah.
I'm here. No. So, so some people want to just be in the background and do what they do best, but we
Mm-hmm.
still want to shine the light to be able to change the stereotypes in a
Mm-hmm.
positive direction. So
Yeah.
how do you think we can do that, in your opinion?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's a great question actually. And I think there's so much you can do whether in the background or not, because you're not a rock, you're not a stone here in these countries where we come and learn their languages in the first place. Um, it could play as a disadvantage, but it's not. We should take the diversity as our advantage. And I think so many times you're like, oh yeah, I'm the diversity hire. You know, deep down, you got the skills, you're solving people's issues and stuff in that office. But it's fine. If they want to hire you on diversity, negotiate your salary on diversity because they need that color in that office. Okay.
That's right. That's
Yes.
right. They play on the diversity. Yes.
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 Yes. Take it to your advantage as well. Play
Mm.
them. But I think mentoring, don't be alone. And I've seen so many. I mean, after I got my job, I met a friend and I was like, girl, I didn't know you were already working in the private sector when I was busy looking for a job. You can sometimes you can
Mm.
recommend, say my name. I want to have people like me in the places that I am. I don't want
Mention
to
the
be
next
alone.
person. Take her along.
Exactly. In most
Mm.
of these private companies, for instance, there is a referral system. When there's a new job, they come internally and they ask, do you have someone you want to bring in?
Mm.
Mention, look, Clara, I go deep. I look for the next black woman that I know, brown woman that I know that will not have the same opportunities.
Yeah.
And that is in the background. You don't see that, you don't talk about that. I think we need to hold each other's hands. I have been reaching out to some of my friends that are uh, studying the SOSU and they're almost done, right? And
Mm.
I'm like, girl, that's a good path, you know? So if you finish here, you only have 2 years to take nursing. So if you do the nursing, you don't have to be a nurse. You can join biotech and pharma.
Beautiful.
You
Good.
don't have, yeah,
Good.
you don't have to stay in this. You can always advance. Also
Mm.
don't have to change a full circle to go to communication because that
Mm.
means you're gonna be again in school for 5 years,
Yeah.
one more time. So
Yeah.
how do you link what you already have, the skills that you already have? You Most of them don't want to work with the old racist people, right?
Yeah.
But it's just where they find themselves. But how can you navigate that? And we don't know. You don't know unless you know someone. I
True.
didn't know the world of pharma until I got here. So
Wow.
how can I spread that? How can I hold someone? I've reached out to a few of my friends and I'm just like, girl, you can do this, you can do that. Tell me, give me your qualifications. Let's push in. I'm trying to push one of my friends to come and join my company because I'm like, she is skilled. I've worked with her. I know her. She's consistent. She learns. Like you don't even need sometimes when you're from Kenya, when you're from Africa, we are
You don't need
received.
experience. We learn on the
No,
field.
we learn on the job.
We are grinders. We go deep. I know.
I know exactly. I'm like, when you come here, there are trainings, there's resources. You just have to sit your ass down and learn and be good. Do good.
Yeah.
So mentoring and holding each other's hands and not just don't be alone in your space. Don't be, it's even boring. You need someone to go for a midday walk and just, laugh a
That's
little bit
right.
about some
Yeah.
fat as Jerry and the skinny Jerry or something. We black
No, but it's
sisters
true.
at
It is
work.
true. There's
Yeah,
something that my
yeah,
people used to say that it's a city where in the midst of a blind people and only one king lives or something like that, you are also blind.
yeah,
If you are the only king in the midst of, in the midst of people that are nothing,
yeah,
you are poor because if
exactly.
you carry other people along with you, you
Mhm.
are stronger because if you want to fall, they lift you. That is what it's
Exactly.
about. That is
Exactly. When you have one of your friends that you have pulled with, sometimes your friend want to give up and you're like, no, 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 you
come.
cannot. No,
You're
it's not
coming.
allowed. We have been given so much to give up right now. Come, let's go to that class, push and push. When you have that friend, it means that you're not going to be paying her bills when you go out to eat in a fancy damn restaurant, right?
Thank you. You've split the bill equally and everybody paid happily.
Exactly. You can
True.
just call and be like, for my 35th birthday, can we go to Greece? And they will come. And
Yes.
not like, hey, now I have to start saving. I don't have so much money. No. So you need to be in equal spaces.
True, true. This is
Yeah,
the way to
yeah,
do with African women in diaspora in Europe. Please carry each other along. Thank you so much
yeah.
for sharing that. Like I said, I'm not going to take so much of your time. But lastly, what advice would you give to African women back home in Kenya or
Mhm,
anywhere in
mhm,
Africa that is
mhm,
hoping to come to
mhm.
Europe or to find, to the greener pasture that a lot of people assume it is?
Yeah, yeah.
What advice would you give them? I mean, I gotta say the way it is. I
Oh,
try to
yeah.
compose myself, but sometimes my mouth won't let me.
I get you. So these greener pastures sometimes can be frozen. Dear sister,
It's
if
only
you
green where it's watered.
hmm
Yeah.
the trees have no leaves in winter. I'm just telling you.
It. Okay.
I'm just saying, I'm like, if it's working for you at home where you are, make the money, travel, see the world, open your brain, go back home and
Mm,
actually flourish
flourish.
and flourish. Because it's really not for the faint-hearted. If you're not ready to open your mind and accept the society that you're moved into,
It's okay, we have time. Yeah.
yeah, you'll lose it. You'll lose it in these countries. You'll get depression, culture shock. I don't know what, you'll feel invalidated. Your self-esteem will crash. Please, if it's working for you, stay at home. I look at my siblings who are like, eh, I don't think Europe is mine, Nancy. It's fine. I've tried. I'm like, girl, you need to come. For my selfish needs. I need her to be here with me because she's my sister. And she's like,
No.
mm-mm. I'm not coming, you know, I'll come and visit.
Yes,
I'll come
but
and
not
visit and then I'll
coming
go.
to
I
stay.
can't, no, she says like this, it's not for me,
Mhm.
Nancy. I'm sorry, but it's not for me.
Oh, yeah.
And I look in awe because I don't think at the age of 24, which is my sister's age, I would have just sat and said, it's not for me.
Things
At
have
that
changed.
time, yeah, you know, there's so much aware. They're like, my brother
Yeah,
says, if we all leave Africa, he's going to build Africa. And that's so true. So
yeah.
if it's, but Africa can be hard. Sometimes
It
if it's
is
not
hard.
working,
I'm in Nigeria and I
yeah.
know, the definition of hard. So I know.
Girl, I know. So
Yeah.
it can be hard, right? But if you get that opportunity to go for
Yeah.
a period of time, to go and study, go do your masters, research. I mean, sometimes actually it's just a matter of applying for that course.
Right.
You don't even need much. Literally, I know like African students
Mm.
are given full tuition in Sweden
Wow. Wow.
to do masters. So
Mm.
it's just a matter of actually looking for that. You don't want a sponsor, someone holding your hand and whatever. Just go and apply for that. You already have a job. If you're at a point where you're looking to go abroad, you have a job. So you
Yeah.
have some money. If you're not coming with a boat, the way you meet everyone
No,
and ask you,
no,
so how
no,
did
no,
you
no,
come
no.
to Europe? I'm like, I was in a boat.
Mm-mm.
I took
Mm-mm.
a flight. Actually, it was I was just a little bit shy. I wanted to take the business class. But anyway, anyway, I'm just saying, like, if it's working for you back at home, home is the best. Like we come here, we live in the Lulu land, thinking like we're
Yeah,
going home.
Lulu.
We're going home. We're going home. Next year I'm going home.
Yeah.
And then it's 10 years. And you just realize you started from scratch and you're here.
Please don't. I'm guilty. 5 years. Yeah, I know.
I know
It's
very
been,
well. I know.
yeah.
Yeah.
But thank you for saying that. If it's working, make it work at home.
Yeah.
Europe is beautiful. Traveling abroad is beautiful. You got to see the world because the world is so big. You learn the
Mhm.
culture. But if
Mhm.
it's not for you, don't do it. But if it's for you, like you said, open your mind.
Yeah,
Open your mind. Thank you
exactly.
so much. This is so beautiful to have you. Thank you.
Okay. Take care, Clara. Thank you so much for having me.
You. Stay tuned for more of Women's World Show, more interesting stories from amazing women here with us in Women's World Show.